Okay, let's set a scene. Imagine this. You get a call. Your 18-year-old, away at college maybe, is in the hospital.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
You rush there, obviously wanting to know everything, wanting to help, wanting to talk to the doctors.
of course.
But when you get there, they tell you they can't share any information
Right.
because of privacy laws. Your child is 18, an adult.
It's a scenario that is unfortunately quite real for some families. It's such a jolt.
Exactly. And that gut-wrenching possibility really sets up our deep dive today. The absolutely essential legal documents every single 18-year-old needs as they officially step into adulthood.
It's something often overlooked, isn't it? There's all the excitement around graduation, maybe moving out, starting college.
Right, all the good stuff.
But that 18th birthday, it marks a massive legal shift. It's not just being able to vote. Suddenly, parents don't have the automatic legal right to access healthcare info or manage finances if there's an emergency.
I saw an article, I think it was in the Wall Street Journal recently, highlighting this very issue for young adults. It's becoming more recognized, but maybe still not enough.
Agreed. People just assume parental rights continue, but legally, they don't.
So our mission today is pretty clear. Figure out which documents sometimes they fall under the umbrella of estate planning, which sounds serious for an 18-year-old,
It does sound a bit much, yeah.
but which ones are really crucial to protect them and also, frankly, to allow parents to actually help if something unexpected happens without hitting legal roadblocks.
Okay, where should we start?
Let's start with healthcare. That seems like the most immediate potential crisis point. The healthcare power of attorney, sometimes called an advance directive for healthcare. What
Yeah.
exactly is that?
Okay, so this is fundamental.
Mm.
Basically, this document lets your 18-year-old legally appoint someone, usually a parent, but it could be another trusted adult to be their healthcare agent.
Agents, okay.
Yeah, agent. And that agent has the legal authority to make healthcare decisions for them if, and only if, they become incapacitated and can't make those decisions themselves.
Incapacitated meaning? Like unconscious from an accident? Or seriously ill and unable to communicate?
Exactly. Those kinds of situations. If they can make their own decisions, they do. This only kicks in if they can. And it lets the designated agent talk to doctors, understand the medical situation, access records.
Ah, access records. That connects back to that opening scenario.
Precisely. It gets around the HIPAA barrier. HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, is the big privacy law. Once you're 18, it protects your health information, even from your parents.
So without this healthcare power of attorney, even if I'm standing right there, the hospital might legally say, sorry, we can't tell you anything.
That's the reality. They might give you very general updates, maybe, but detailed information. Making actual treatment choices? No. You'd likely need a court order.
A court order, like going to court during a medical emergency.
Yes. You might have to petition for guardianship. It's slow, it's stressful, it's expensive, and it's the absolute last thing you want to be dealing with when your child is sick or injured.
Wow. Okay. So this document proactively solves that potential nightmare. It's not about parents controlling things. It's about being able to help when needed.
That's exactly the right way to frame it. It bridges that legal gap created by turning 18.
Okay, that's clear. Healthcare power of attorney, absolutely vital. Now, what about the money side? You mentioned finances too.
Right. So similar idea, but for financial matters, this is the durable financial power of attorney.
Durable financial power of attorney. Okay.
And again, your 18-year-old appoints an agent, often the same person as the healthcare agent, usually a parent, to handle their financial affairs if they become unable to do so themselves.
Now, most 18-year-olds aren't exactly managing complex stock portfolios. So why is this one still so important? What kind of practical things are we talking about?
That's a fair question. They might not have huge assets, but think about the day-to-day stuff. What if they're laid up in the hospital for a few weeks or months?
Mm-hmm.
Someone might need to access their bank account to pay their rent so they don't get evicted, or pay their tuition installment, or even just cover their phone bill or car insurance.
Okay, yeah, the essential bills.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
what about dealing with health insurance,
Yeah.
filing claims, sorting out bills that come in that can be complicated, even when you're well?
Definitely.
If they have a lease agreement for an apartment, maybe that needs attention. Without this document, a parent might not have the legal standing to step in and handle these basic but critical financial tasks. Again, you could end up needing court intervention.
So it's about keeping their essential life logistics running smoothly if they're temporarily sidelined by illness or injury?
Precisely. It prevents small problems from snowballing into big ones while they recover.
Got it. So, healthcare power of attorney for medical, durable financial power of attorney for finances. Are there any others typically recommended?
Yeah, there are a couple more often discussed. One is a living will.
Living will. How's that different from the healthcare power of attorney?
Good question. The healthcare power of attorney appoints who makes decisions if you can't. The living will provides instructions about what decisions you want made
Hmm.
regarding life-sustaining treatment in very specific, usually end-of-life situations.
Ah, okay. So things like ventilators or feeding tubes in cases of terminal illness or permanent unconsciousness.
Exactly. It allows the 18-year-old to state their personal wishes about those incredibly difficult decisions ahead of time. It provides guidance to the healthcare agent and doctors.
So it's about expressing their own values for those critical moments?
Yes, it gives them a voice when they might not be able to speak for themselves. It's a very personal document.
Okay. And the other one often mentioned.
That's the FERPA release.
FERPA, I think I've heard of that. Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, something like that.
That's the one. It's a federal law protecting the privacy of student education records. Once a student turns 18 or attends a post-secondary institution, the rights transfer from the parent to the student.
Meaning parents can't just call the registrar's office and ask for grades anymore.
Nope. Or talk to the financial aid office about the details of their package. Privacy kicks in.
So the FERPA release is basically the student giving permission.
Exactly. It's a signed form where the student explicitly permits the school to share specific information like grades, financial aid details, sometimes disciplinary records with designated people, usually parents.
Why would that be helpful? I mean, isn't part of college about them handling things themselves?
It is, absolutely.
Hmm.
But things can still come up. Maybe there's a complex financial aid issue you need to help them sort out. Maybe they're struggling academically, perhaps due to illness, and you need to understand the situation to provide support or coordinate with the school.
Right. If they were sick and missed classes, you might need to talk to someone.
Or if there's a scholarship requirement tied to GPA, you might want to be able to check in, with their permission, of course. It just keeps the lines of communication open for support if needed.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's sort of bring it all together. Why are these documents, healthcare POA, financial POA, maybe living will, FERPA release, why are they so specifically critical right at that 18-year-old mark?
It boils down to that fundamental legal shift we talked about. At 18, the law sees them as completely independent adults. Parental authority, legally speaking, just evaporates in these areas.
The switch flips.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And these documents. They proactively put a framework back in place. But importantly, it's a framework chosen and authorized by the young adult. It grants permission for parental support if it's needed, without forcing everyone through the courts.
So it's really empowering them to plan for their own well-being while also giving parents peace of mind.
I think that's a great way to put it. They're gaining independence, which is fantastic, but life throws curveballs. These documents are like a safety net. They ensure that the people who care most can actually step in and help during vulnerable times.
And it's not really about assets, is it? It's more about their health and just managing life if they hit a rough patch.
Absolutely. The focus for an 18-year-old isn't wealth protection, it's well-being protection.
Yeah.
It's practical, responsible planning for this new phase of life. It provides real, tangible peace of mind for everyone involved.
That phrase, practical peace of mind, really resonates. So as we wrap up, what's the key takeaway you hope listeners get from this deep dive, especially parents with kids hitting that 18 mark?
The main message is, don't overlook this. These documents are not just nice-to-haves. They are arguably essential components of launching your child into adulthood responsibly. They ensure you can be there for them in critical moments.
We covered the big ones: healthcare power of attorney,
Durable financial power of attorney,
the living will as an expression of wishes.
and the FERPA release for educational support.
Right. Each one covers a really important base.
They do. So the final thought might be, think about the relief, the actual peace of mind, knowing these are in place before anything happens, before they head out to college, before they move into their own apartment.
What steps can parents and young adults take today to get this sorted?
Have the conversation. Talk to your 18-year-old about why these are important. Frame it as empowering them and ensuring support is available. Look into resources, maybe consult with a legal professional who handles these documents to understand state-specific requirements and get them drafted properly.
And maybe share this info. Talk to other parents.
Definitely. So many people just aren't aware of this legal shift at 18. Spreading the word can make a huge difference for another family down the road. It's about being prepared, proactively for the what-ifs of life, to feel more secure. And